Okay, so that was the third test, and it wasn't all that bad. I'd say that was probably the best test run we've had so far. So today is 29th of October 2019. I wasn't really planning on doing a test video today. It's just the weather seemed good and it got light early. Because in the UK the clocks have gone back, so finishing work at 6 o'clock in the morning, I only had to wait an hour for it to get light. So okay, firstly I think we'll go over things that went good. So it worked, that was great. I mean, it did everything I wanted it to. The steering was working in both ways and it was turning, all the wheels were four-wheel drive, that was great. No really any problems. We did have a couple of little things go bad. The steering potentiometer for one of the wheels was a bit loose, and also, I don't know if you noticed, one of the wheels was shaking around a bit. That's because one of these bolts fell at the bottom, so we're gonna have to do something about that as well. Wheel mount bolt, and what else happened? It wasn't as fast as expecting. You know, I was thinking like, given it's four-wheel drive now, powered by the hoverboard motors, so it should be able to go pretty fast. But there's a couple of things, like we were on rough ground, so it couldn't really get as much traction, and it does weigh 15 kilos, which is roughly around 33 pounds. You know, so it's carrying quite a lot of weight as well. I mean, it can obviously carry a lot more, but I mean, there's probably, I don't know, I think on the next test we're going to have to try it on smooth ground again. There's a field weakening thing which can make it go faster. I think it adds about an extra 20 or 40% top speed. But I mean, the handling was pretty good. I don't know what it would be like doing like a full turn, going flat out. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see that when it comes to testing out on some flat ground. Yeah, there was another bad thing as well. The way that the wheel hubs are mounted. That's what it is. They clamp around one of these things, and then there's other parts which bolt in here, and they've basically slid like that. Right, okay, so steering potentiometer. That is basically, it's basically that. And then a little bolt goes inside. So what happens, the thread that's on the plastic, which is there, it wears away quite easy. I mean, you can't really do these that tight without the thread breaking. So I think I'm going to have to do something, make it a lot bigger, probably even 100% infill, and then have, say, 2 bolts holding it in place, and then probably even the bolt in the middle. Say this is the bolt looking at it from the side. It's normally like that, thread, 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 thread. So we can go in with the angle grinder and just cut in a little flat like that. Possibly a little flat like that on that side as well. So that when we put our bolts in, it grips even more. I mean, for it to not grip that, it would actually have to pull these 2 bolts away from the thread, like for this to turn and for these not to move outwards. So we're going to go with something like that. Also, there's another thing at the very start, resetting hole. So for some reason, on the Arduino that has the USB controller, I power it up and then I have to press the reset button for it to initiate the Bluetooth. I'm not sure why, but it's just something I've always had to do. So if we just make a little hole in the top cover, then I won't have to take the top cover off every time I go to turn it on. Okay, so that's it for these bad parts here. So what we'll do, I'll just run you through them quick. Right, so the bolt that's fallen out is from underneath here. So look underneath, that one still has the bolt. It's just, go this side, it's just here, this one there. Okay, so that one's fallen out, which that shouldn't be too hard of a fix. The next part, you can see, you can't see very well. Anyway, you can see it's not square. Part of it's just slid out a bit like that. And then the same on this one here. This one's coming out a bit like this. Yeah, you can see that one slightly better. The T-slot nut has slid out, but it's still attached to the plastic. So that's the nut that slips on the potentiometer. There's plenty of room there, so we should be able to fix that easy enough. And then this is the steering box. So it's just literally make a hole around here somewhere so I can poke something inside to reset it. So, just before we finish the video, I just want to point out, if you haven't already noticed, that we've got some bit more of a frame here. I've mounted the hoverboard motherboard switches on this panel so I can access them easy. We've got the main switch, battery meter. Okay, part of the reason for putting this frame on is because I have started printing some of the body panels. So we got this one here. This is the first one that's done. I mean, it was only a test print, but it took like 13 hours to do this. It's got 10% infill, but I don't know, it just feels a bit flimsy. So I think what I'm going to have to do is just put like strips along the edges just to kind of strengthen it a bit. Maybe put some like ribs or something. But we got this bit that sticks out, the 2 holes, that bolts onto the side here. Pretty much just like that. Most of the body should be able to be made out of 8 sections of this. And I'll just put the design up quick. So you can see it's all coming together. The most tricky part now for the design is the wheel arches. Hopefully by the end of the week I would have finalised all these designs. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to see more, don't forget to like. And thanks for watching.